Welcome back to Chasing Our White Rabbit.
Episode 6.5.
So we're going to let you guys know we had a little faux pas. Just a little one. We just, recorded a whole hour and 10 minutes and it didn't record on my phone. Or on my camera.
Yeah, so like 45 minutes in, his camera just stopped recording. And
so here we are again for take 2 of episode 6, which is always fun.
Yeah,
we
have to have another hour-long conversation.
You guys hear that? She said we have to have another hour-long conversation. She's like, I gotta have another hour-long conversation with this guy.
Anybody who knows me knows it's not my favorite thing to do.
Is the talk?
No, because sometimes we get a little bit heated.
Yeah.
Sometimes we uncover some sore spots, and
which I think is fascinating. I like
Matt
it.
loves it, and he's always like, "It's good for the pod," and I'm like,
and she's like, "It's bad for my mental health."
Yeah, I'm like, it's bad for the marriage.
And I don't think it is. I think being more open and talking about the stuff is beneficial, but
maybe not in a public setting. But
that's your thing, though. Like you're not a big public person. And I think that's probably how you grew up. You didn't grow up a very big public person. Like your parents weren't like voicing everything out in public. Your parents aren't really yellers in public.
Yeah.
Whereas like mine were like screamers.
My parents were the kind of parents, and I love you, Mom and Dad. You're never going to watch this because I don't even think you know what a podcast is. But just in case, I love you. But my parents are the kind of parents that for, I think, our 1-year anniversary, my parents gifted us this set of photo albums that that my mom had put together. And so
we were really young.
Like
we were
super young when we got
kids.
married. But here's the thing: is we had kids. We had our son first. Yeah. So we had our son Owen. We were both 19 when we had him, and then we got married 7 months later. So
one of us was 20, and the other one was 19 still.
Yeah. So he got married at 19. I was 20 when we got married. Yeah. But the point is that my parents gave me this gift. My mom put it together, I'm pretty sure. But they had specifically put the pictures out of order to where our wedding came first. With pictures of our 7-month-old in the wedding pictures. And then his birth came second. And yeah. I'm sure that they had the best of intentions. And
so if somebody was to look through that, they would see, oh, they got married. Oh, this is them having a kid.
Yeah.
This is them riding a horse. This is them. Like, it's just, oh, this is supposed to be in chronological order.
It is not. But my parents are much older.
They are much older.
My mom
They're like in their 80s.
My mom was 35 when I was born, and my dad was 42. And so, like, us having...
So they weren't all out and everything. So that's where your conservativeness comes from.
They're very much like, we'll just cover that up. We'll put this in front of that and that after that. No big deal. But
and my family's the exact opposite. My family is and Mom, you're probably never going to hear this. And I love you, of course. But like, my family is crazy. Like, my family didn't give a shit about what anybody thought about them.
Yeah, I remember when we were in high school and dating, and your mom always had her video camera out. Yeah. And she would like take video of like all the family things, and your uncles would always do some crazy shit. And
they'd constantly be flipping off the camera.
They'd be either flipping off the camera or they'd moon the camera.
Yeah.
And so your mom would watch it and be like, I don't want that in my family video. And then she would come in your room and she would like line it up, and then she would have the video camera and she would ask us to kiss.
I don't remember this.
She would ask us to kiss and record it over the flipping off. Like
it was something romantic that was happening?
Yeah, like, oh, here's this, instead of like a old man's butthole. It would be so like if you watch that part of the video, it would go like craziness, somebody about to pull down their pants, Matt and Ken kissing, craziness.
It's like a kid recording over a video with a porno. It's like, what's going on? Oh my gosh, what's going on? And then it cuts back to craziness.
Yeah.
But that's my feeling. They're super crazy.
Yeah.
They say whatever they want to say, and they don't give a shit if someone doesn't like it.
That is very true.
They hold huge, sways of views, like that range from, I don't know, it's just crazy things that they whatever it is, if they believe it, and ain't nobody gonna tell them otherwise.
Yeah. We're very much like the star-crossed lovers kind of storyline.
Yeah.
If you really think about it. Like my parents...
Her parents and my parents do not get along.
At all. And my parents, like my family was like wealthy. We owned a house with property and several cars. And,
horses.
Like, had my brother and I done what we were supposed to do, we probably would have gone to college. And like everything was like all lined up for us. And like your family was like... struggling a bit.
Dude, my family was white trash. Like my family.
Trying to be nice.
I grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment. Like 5 of us kids slept in one room. My stepdad and my mom slept in another room. And until I got into junior high, that's where we lived, like with everybody. And my stepdad built bunk beds and.
Yeah, he had like bunk beds. I never saw this, but they had bunk beds where it was like 2 on each side of the room.
This is a 10 by 10 room too.
Yeah.
So that's how big the room was, a 10 by 10.
Yeah, so there was like 2 beds, so a bunk,
2 bunk beds.
A bunk and a bunk on each side of the room, and then like they made a U with like a center bed that connected it all.
Yep. And you weren't allowed to have anything that couldn't fit in a tote. So we had these totes that would fit underneath the bed. So since there was so many people that lived in the room, if it couldn't fit in the tote, whether that's your clothes, shoes, toys, you weren't allowed to have it. And people were like, man, where'd you put all your stuff? Well, we didn't have anything either. Like our birthdays consisted of getting like, one thing. Like I remember getting, I would say clothes. So I'd get like a pair of pants, or I would get overalls, or I would get a shirt. Christmas consisted of getting like, something small like a basketball, and if it couldn't fit, you had to choose what are you going to do? You're going to throw away something to make it fit, or are you going to keep it? But we were really poor, we were.
And then in contrast, when we started dating and you came over, like I had my own room and it was like a 12 by 15 room.
Yeah, it was bigger than like the whole apartment I grew up in.
Like
it was
2 bed, like so
it was massive.
We were.
And she got to do things like this is the difference between like, this is how like poverty is on a scale, like a sliding scale, right? Because I would go over to her house, and the fact that she could eat food if she wanted to.
Go into my own fridge.
Like we were not allowed in our own fridge. The food that was in our fridge was specifically for something. Like it was for dinner, or it was for lunch, or if we didn't get lunch. Lunch was at school, but whatever we got was for something. Whereas at Kim's house, like things were just there. Like we can make something here. We can make grilled cheese sandwiches. We can make
grilled cheese sandwiches. When we first started dating, we'd go over, what do you want? I'd make me a grilled cheese sandwich.
We were 16.
Yeah.
She would say, oh, you want a grilled cheese sandwich? I'd say, yeah. And then she would just open up the refrigerator and take cheese out and open up a loaf of bread. And she would make me one. And then I would eat it. And then she would say, do you want another one? And I was like, this was completely, it was so foreign. I didn't know how to conceptualize it.
If you really think about it, it's probably why you fell in love with me.
That's not why. I fell in love with you because you were so nice.
No, but if you think about it, there was such a distinction between, like,
a contrast?
The contrast between your life at home and then your life at my house. Like, it was just like a constant, like, not on purpose love bombing.
No, I think I fell in love with you because you were so nice.
But like, if you think about that, like,
there wasn't a lot of nice people.
I always thought about you. Do you want to eat? Like, all of this, like, constant. What's that?
Affection.
Thing? No, but that thing in your brain that makes you feel happy.
Endorphins.
Constant endorphins, whether it's from food or just being nice or just like not having to stress out about being at home.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like a constant.
You were like, we want to rent a movie? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, we could just watch a movie. Like, she had satellite, so she had like all these channels, but she could just do she would just watch pay-per-views, and I was like, you can just. She's like, yeah, what's the big deal? And I was like, dude, there's no way they would ever have it in my home. No way. Like we again, we weren't even allowed to go into the refrigerator and get food. Like if you wanted something to drink, there was water. And outside of dinner time, that's what you got. That's it. And over at her house, it was like there were sodas everywhere. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. You could just drink as many of these as you want. And she'd crack them open and be like, yep. But she made me so many grilled cheese sandwiches because I didn't stop eating them because I have an eating disorder, of course. That she's like, oh, the cheese is gone. It's okay. I'll just ask my mom to buy more. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? That's insane. Yeah. I'd never met anybody that wealthy before in my life.
Yeah.
Kim
but
was
then if like you think about the contrast the other way, right? So like I had older parents that loved me very much, but like they were involved. Like they were in, my mom was part of the PTA. Like they were involved in that way, but like the actual like day-to-day interaction wasn't so much between me and my parents. But then when I would go to your house, like everybody was involved.
Yeah, everybody's in everybody else's business.
Everybody's in everybody's business. Your mom would like ask me how I was and have conversations with me, and John would be like, your dad would be like, hey, like what's going on, and like the siblings were all like up in your like, and I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
So like having younger siblings, and I just remember like feeling the contrast the other way, like meeting a need outside of like the rich needs that you're talking about, but like the actual connection that I didn't have because I was the youngest and my brothers both were gone, so I was basically an only child for like my last 2 years living at home.
Yeah. And your brother was pretty independent too, like not just your older brother, but your middle, I mean the middle brother, which is older than you.
Yeah,
but
so,
like he's pretty independent as just a human being.
Yeah, so my oldest brother is 15 years older than me. So he was out having his own life, had kids. Like I saw very little of him. And then my other brother, who's 2 years older than me, wanted nothing to do with me. Like he was popular in school. He was athletic. He was like what people like, good looking and rich, and he drove, and he like.
I just want to make this clear that rich to me was, now that I'm older and I can like look back on it, was definitely middle class.
Yeah.
Like if I looked, me as an adult could look at me as if I was a kid looking at me as an adult, I would say my kids are so wealthy because we were so poor. Like when I mean so poor, I mean someone would throw away rags and we'd bring them home and use them as towels. That's how poor we were. Like we were so poor that like, so when I looked at Kim, I was like, dude, they're like millionaires. They're like,
but we were not. We were just a country.
They were just, and they were also just middle class.
Yeah.
But it's on a sliding scale. But
anyway, so my brother was like, he wanted nothing to do with me. I was very alone even when he was around. We just did not get along whatsoever. So
your parents are very solitude people too. Yes. Like they're very like stoic.
They would hang out together in our downstairs living room, and I would hang out by myself in the upstairs living room. Like there was no overlapping. And when you're in a family like yours with like a smaller home where there's just the one living room, y'all are in the same living room or you're outside playing. And I really, really enjoyed like having like pseudo younger siblings. Yeah. Like Ashley and Michael and Kiana filled a hole that like I didn't even realize that I had. Like, I don't realize that. And sometimes I think about that for our kids. Like we have 4 kids. There has to be a youngest. You have to stop at some point. But sometimes I think about our youngest and her being the youngest, and especially right now as like her older brother, so number 3 in our lineup, is about to graduate.
Yeah, he's going to graduate soon.
I know too well that feeling of being left behind and people not going to your graduation, and people, because they're going off and starting their lives, and that's fine, and they shouldn't feel bad about that. But there is somebody being left behind. Yeah. And I very much worry about that for her, and I wonder about like, and that you can't just keep going.
That was keep having kids. One thing that was different with my family too, is that like everybody tried to show up for everybody at those big events. Like when my sister graduated high school, everybody was there.
My brother, like
your brother,
my oldest brother was there.
Yeah.
and my niece and my sister-in-law, but my other brother didn't show up. Like, I didn't have any aunts or uncles there or anything like that. Like,
but for us, it's like it was a big deal to like, you know, I mean, we don't do. The family dynamic is a lot different, but like we try to show up for each other.
Yes, and I think that is something that is a trend. If you look at like more wealthy families versus poor families.
She couldn't even get that out. She's like, poor.
No, that's not what it was. I just wasn't sure if that was like a nice way to say it.
Financially
struggling families.
Well, there's a financially struggling, and then there's Poe, okay?
Who were we talking to? They were like, I wasn't poor, I was Poe. Oh, it was Danny.
Yeah,
last
yeah.
night. She was like, I couldn't even afford the R, man. I was just Poe. But like, they seem to depend on each other more.
Yeah.
And have those tight knit like relationships, and you just don't. I just didn't experience that in my family, and to this day, like it's not like we live like 20 minutes from my mom and dad and from my brother and sister-in-law, and as a family we don't get together very often at all,
which is funny, which is interesting.
like, I go and see my mom and dad pretty frequently, and he goes and sees my mom and dad pretty frequently, and our oldest daughter goes and sees them all the time. But like, I never see my brother. And
it's like almost like you could do like a Sunday dinner type of thing. We just never do.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's something that like, I feel like if you have kids and you want that to be a thing, you have to start it before they leave.
Yeah.
Because like, can you imagine us starting like, because now one of ours has moved out. The other 3 are still with us.
Well, they're all still with us, but
3 of them still live with us. But if we were to start a Sunday dinner, we would have to convince Owen to come and have dinner with us.
Yeah, I mean,
it would be a change in his routine.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I also think that you could just start it and have open invitation, and people want to come in, they come in. And I think that you'll find that there might be a time where people aren't coming in, but if you consistently have those traditions, people are going to come back to it, and you're going to be the rock that they're coming back to.
Yeah, maybe I'll start doing a Sunday dinner after Easter.
But it also makes it so maybe we'll do a Saturday dinner.
Well, if you come home and dinner's already ready.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Like if I take my Sundays and I clean the house and I make like
homemade raviolis,
like a homemade dinner. This man, because he grew up thinking he was Italian, but he actually wasn't. But he grew up thinking.
Oh, here we go. I was Italian. I was Italian.
Whenever we talk about making like those comfort foods, he always goes back to lasagna, raviolis.
And there's a reason for that.
I'm thinking like a whole chicken, mashed potatoes, and gravy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a reason for that. So when I was growing up, my mom, she grew up in a foster home, and the foster home they were Italian. So when I grew up, I just knew them as grandma and grandpa.
Wasn't it Noni
and yeah, but it was grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
And they were like real Italians, you know, like they were the Italians, you know.
Yeah.
And then we did have a noni that was like older. They came from Italy and everything. So I didn't really understand what the difference was with like, I just figured we were Italian. And I was like, I remember I heard telling people like, oh yeah, I'm Italian. My grandma's Italian. I'd be like, and I would listen to them talk, and because we go over there for like Christmas or Easter, Thanksgiving. I mean, like just like a couple holidays of the year. They had a pool, and it was like they talk with this Italian accent. And I remember like even like at school being like, "How you doing?" Like trying to talk, and I kind of figured that like when I was young, I figured that accents were something that you developed. Because like I had friends who were Hispanic, because we grew up in a Mexican neighborhood. I grew up in a all Mexican neighborhood, and my friends didn't have like a Mexican accent. They spoke English just like me, because we all went to the same school together. We were in the same neighborhood together, but their parents spoke with a super thick Mexican accent. So
Wait.
I figured you
thought
acquired.
you were born without an accent, and as you got older,
That's what I figured. Is you gotta work on the accent. You know what I mean? You gotta like really try to put it in there.
oh my
That's not how it
God.
works at all. That's not how it works
Babe.
at all.
Babe.
So I figured like my Mexican friends would just be like, what's up? You know, like how you doing? Like I don't know. You know, they would have to work on that accent, and that's not the case. Just let everybody know. If you're wondering, when is my accent gonna kick in? You know, like it doesn't work like that. Like going through puberty, you figure it just would kick in. But I really thought that when I was growing up, and I remember my mom one time she's like, you're not really Italian, right? I was like, what?
Aw.
Yeah, she's like, well, we're German and Portuguese. And then my dad's side, I'm Irish, so.
Yeah. I remember being so nervous to go to my first Thanksgiving at your mom's foster parents' house
Yeah.
because she had like pulled me aside and was like, this isn't like our family. Like
They were actually more like your family.
Well, so yes, that's exactly. She was preparing me to go to a place like my family,
Yeah.
where like they're more proper. We're gonna be calm. There's gonna be multiple, not servings,
Courses.
multiple courses.
Like they would have like lasagna, they would have salad. Like
Yeah.
in my family, it was like there was one thing and that's what you got to eat.
Yeah, and I remember her preparing and me being so nervous to go. And then when I got there, I was like,
This is just regular.
"This is normal."
This is normal.
But you know
This
what's
is a
really
Tuesday at my
interesting
house.
is immediately there, like, because your uncle, it just wasn't the vibe. I was expecting to go there and like, you know, all the silverware laid out like
Yeah.
8 rows deep.
Was this at my uncle's house in Lake County? Or was this
No.
at my grandma's house?
It was at your grandma's house with the pool.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I remember.
But what you were expecting was different.
Yeah, because she was preparing me
For high end.
for high end. I was going high end from my house.
But you didn't realize
I didn't
realize
realize-
how low the bar is set.
Because I didn't like go into your house and go like, oh my gosh, these
Trash.
people are trash. These
Yeah.
people are poor. Like to me, like they were so. I loved your family so much during
Yeah.
that period of my life. Like literally, your mom was like a second mom to me, and just like I just was entrenched. Like I did not see, like
The problems.
the economic status.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see that whatsoever. So when she was preparing me for this next level, I thought this next level was from my mom and dad's house level, but it was really just to my mom and dad's house level.
Yeah.
And so there was
Almost like
very
your
different.
grandparents' level, like on your dad's side.
Not no.
Because they were
That's a
way
level
higher,
up.
right?
That-
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's
They
a
were
whole
like
level up.
really rich.
They were like actually rich.
Yeah. They grew
like-
up in Malibu or...
Yeah. They were yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about perspective. Like to me, it was like, this is might as well be, you know, the queen of fucking England or something, you know? But it's like, then you reach that status and you realize, oh,
Yeah.
there's there's levels up that are way above that. But it's fascinating. But
Yeah,
yeah.
but I was nervous, and then there was nothing to be nervous about, and
No.
I felt like your grandma and grandpa were very kind people. And I remember your mom had her camera out. We were just talking about the camera, and she had her video camera, and we did that thing where you like record upside down, and you cover your nose, and you draw the faces on the chin.
Yeah.
I remember we did that, and I was just like. I remember thinking, like, this family is so amazing. Like, they, like, enjoy each other's company, and they love each other, and they
Did
do
you see your
fun
dad doing that?
things.
And your mom doing that?
No. But I have to say, like, in looking back at pictures and trying to remember my childhood, I feel like there was probably a time where they were very fun.
Yeah.
I just think that I was older.
But you had a pretty fun childhood, though. I mean, you got to grow up literally going to the Renaissance
Yeah,
Fair.
so my parents...
Ran the Renaissance Fair.
They
If you don't...
didn't run the Renaissance Fair, but they worked higher up in the Renaissance Pleasure Fair in Black Point and in Southern California.
If anybody doesn't know what that is, a Renaissance Fair is basically like medieval times, or
It's like a period.
it's a
based fair.
It's
So
a fair that you go back like in the
in Renaissance
medieval
period.
Yeah, Renaissance.
Yeah,
So like
so-
knights in shining armor
Yeah,
and
Queen Elizabeth
wizards
and-
and dwarves and
and
elves and stuff like that.
peasants and royalty and stuff. And
Obviously, everything I
jousting.
said was not real, but
Yeah. So I have to be honest, I wasn't listening to what he was saying. 'Cause
Again,
I was
guys.
trying to remember a word and I still don't remember the word. The thing that women would wear.
Corsets?
Corsets and stuff like that. That's the word I was looking for. So
nailed it. You just gotta
good
ask.
job. Anyway, so I grew up there, so I did have a very fun childhood, but my parents were working
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
And so I was kind of running around. They called us fair brats. And as I've grown up, I've learned that, like, everybody kind of disliked me because
Oh,
I was,
really?
like, an actual brat.
She was a brat.
Like,
She'd be like Joffrey. You're like, oh no, mommy.
that is
Give
the
me.
meanest thing I think you've ever said to me. No, like, I wouldn't listen,
I wouldn't listen.
and I would just kind of run around,
Off with your head.
and
Were you royalty?
no, I never got to dress up as royalty.
Why not?
Because I don't know, I wasn't cool enough. I was a peasant.
Did you have a bunch of clothes?
No, I got one costume every year. No. But it was you borrowed it. You borrowed it.
Oh.
You had to take it back to the costuming tent
Oh,
at the end
okay.
of the year.
I thought it was
So they
like.
would like fit you.
So is
every
that
year.
what people walked around in? Was just borrowed costumes?
99% of them, yeah.
Oh, I
So
thought.
like if you got your job there,
Yeah.
then you would go to the costuming tent and they would like fit you with like skirts.
So like the ladies who sold roses
out of their boobies.
out of their boobies, like those are just
Yeah,
borrowed.
most of them. I mean, some people did have their own
Yeah.
costumes. Like
Did your brother dress up? He doesn't strike me as a person who wants to dress
he did
up.
dress up when we were really little. I want to say he was probably like 7 or 8, so I would have been like 5 or 6.
Yeah, so he's really young.
And I remember him dressing up for one of the Dickens fairs, so the
Okay.
winter time.
And that's in the
fair.
Cow Palace.
Yeah, I remember him dressing up for that.
It's really cool.
But then he didn't like dressing up, so he would start. He would dress up in a different way. He would wear a shirt that said security on it, and he would walk
okay.
around with security,
Oh, like he's a hot shit.
like he's tough.
Like I'm
Tough
8. You better not mess with me.
cookies and stuff. Yeah, yeah. And I remember
That strikes me as something you would do.
like he would always have his hair like perfect, right? And he would walk around with his security shirt on
So
with the
cool.
security guys. Yeah, he was way too cool for me, but I love dressing up.
I would have loved dressing up too. That'd be like so awesome to do.
Too bad you never knew me then.
Well, I did go
You did
once.
go.
We got free tickets once,
It was expensive to get me.
and my mom made sure everybody knew you ain't getting shit. Okay, don't even ask. And it was so hot when we went. It was like 100 degrees, and it was at Black Point, so it was in Nevada, and it was like
Oh, that
dirt.
was the best. Anybody who knows Renaissance Pleasure Fairs and all the different locations that they've tried, Black Point goes down as the #1 place.
Yeah.
And I lived on
campus.
property.
Yeah.
So like that was like I lived there.
And it was really cool. I mean, so we were used to like not like being told you don't get anything. Like don't ask.
Yeah.
And I think I think our one of our aunts, or on my stepdad's side, my dad's side, like is the one that gave us tickets, and she was going.
Andrea?
No, on John's side.
Oh.
But I think that so we were going with my uncles and stuff, and we were going with my uncles and stuff, and so like my mom didn't want us to like beg our uncles for stuff. So
Yeah, because like I've been there. Like so since we've had kids, there have been times when we've struggled, and I don't want to sit there and have you asking me for things. We always kind of made it work though.
yeah.
Um,
That's why whenever I felt like, if when we were around our nieces or nephews, like we would just like buy them stuff.
yeah.
Because that's how it was when we were growing up. Like if our uncles bought us something, we could have it. But if we asked for something, there would be hell to pay when we got home. Because it's insulting, it makes it my mom's life really hard, right? She can't afford it, and she has a bunch of kids too, she has 6 kids, and they're walking around asking, begging for things, it's like pretty, it's got to be really difficult. So
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, and as a mom, you want to give them
Yeah.
things, and you can't, and that's just a bummer. Yeah.
So anyway, so we
But
went.
Can you imagine if like we actually like crossed paths?
I know.
And didn't even know it because I was there every day.
And you're like, move, poor boy. And I was like, oh, what the fuck is this chick?
It's not like that.
You're the brat, right? Weren't you the pure brat?
I was a fair brat, but I was not mean.
Oh, okay.
I was just bratty. You're just like everybody else, man.
Tell me what's one thing that would make you a brat. What would you say to people?
I don't think it was things.
I wasn't mean. I was just bratty. It wasn't things you said. It was then tell me one thing.
I think it was just that I didn't listen. I was a really picky eater. I would throw
okay.
fits if like.
That's what you mean.
Yeah, I was a brat. Like.
To me, that's not a brat.
A bratty kid. I wasn't a mean kid. I was just a bratty kid, and people didn't really like me. I didn't know that though until like
later.
I got older, and people would be like, "Oh, you're Dawn and Todd's kid.
Yeah.
We didn't really like you." Who the fuck tells people that?
I don't know. Losers.
Yeah. So.
But you're a kid too, you know? That's more on your parents than on you.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we went once. It was hot, but we sat, I remember sitting there for like an hour watching people swing on that big swing up the hill.
Oh, I love the big swing.
And people are like just...
My mom and dad would let me go on the big swing for my birthday.
Dude, they're getting on, getting off, and I would just sit there and watch them. I was like, that looks like so much fun. That looks like... I think it was like an hour too. I'd watch people like shoot, they had like a bow and arrow game where they would shoot bow and arrow. Of course, you know, we just watch them play, you know. And that was a big thing. We used to go to arcades too. And we would just watch kids play because we didn't have any money. So we'd just sit there and kids would be playing Street Fighter or Tekken or Mortal Kombat, which was really big in the 90s. And we would just sit there and watch. We'd ask, hey, can you come go drop us off at the arcade? And my mom's like, well, we don't have any money. And she's like, that's okay. We just watch people play. And we would just sit there and watch people play for hours. I'm talking like 6 hours.
Isn't it funny that you asked your mom to take you to the arcade where you guys could watch people play, but then when you got your own gaming system and you had to watch your brother play, you complained about it?
Yeah, I think it's because the opportunity was equal, and then when it became unequal, it became
I
frustrating.
Maybe you were a brat.
Brat? I was not a brat.
You called me a brat, so.
And you called yourself a brat. I just reaffirmed it. But you know what else we would do? Tell me if you've ever done this. Remember Toys R Us? It's a store that's no longer around anymore. But remember Toys R Us?
I do remember Toys R Us.
Do you remember that you could play video games at Toys R Us?
I never really went into Toys R Us. Toys R Us was like a store that my mom and dad could go to buy us things. But like I didn't we got to look at the magazine.
Okay.
Like the catalog. And then circle things we wanted that never ended up showing up. Like we weren't super spoiled. Like we didn't get a lot. I know.
Again, this is all relative, guys.
Relatively. It wasn't like
she got to make grilled
wanted.
cheese sandwiches, okay? She's pretty spoiled. As many as she wanted.
I don't even like grilled cheese sandwiches. I just
I
made them
love
to
grilled
impress
cheese sandwiches.
You. I would try to put multiple kinds of cheese
man.
on.
I know.
There was a couple of times I used ham in there.
I know, it's even better.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm like, another one. Yes, another one. But I'm saying, so we would go to, back in the day, in the 90s, Toys R Us used to do this thing where you could play video games at Toys R Us. Like, there would be a game like GoldenEye, which is a Nintendo 64 game. James Bond 007 was one of the first 1v1 games you could play, or you could play against the computer where you're running around and you're shooting people, 1v1 or first three or whatever. And there's a James Bond game, but also there was the actual game. And I remember it was released. We used to go to the Toys R Us from our house was probably about 1.5 miles to 2 miles away, and we would walk there, or ride our bikes. But most likely we'd walk there because we didn't have a lock for our bike, and we couldn't just leave it out, so it would get stolen. So we'd walk there, and we would literally sit there for like 4 hours playing the video game because we couldn't afford the game. But Toys R Us was like fine with you. They had a little console outside, and not outside the building, but like set up in an aisle, and whatever game was there was the game that you could play. And we'd sit there and just play it for hours. We just cycle through. There used to be a bunch of games, and we used to do that too. And it's interesting because nobody ever was like, "You guys need to keep moving." I mean, I don't remember that ever happening. Whereas nowadays you'd see people be like, hey, if you're not buying anything, you need to go to the store.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys, I hope, were respectful about it and like didn't try to destroy it. But nowadays, you see like they'll put up stuff that's supposed to be interactive, like interactive displays in stores, and within a few hours, a few days, like it's all destroyed.
Which is crazy to me to think, because like maybe it's because it's not. I don't know. I don't know how to really to say it. So maybe because we were poor and we were like, this is the only opportunity we have to do this. We were like, you got to make sure that you take care of it. Because if you come back and it's broken,
like
then you don't get to play it.
It doesn't have as much value to these kids nowadays.
Yeah.
So
Almost
they're
like
just
I got a phone. I could do everything I'm doing on this. So therefore, you know, I mean, that's the thing about kids these days. When I hear someone say I'm poor and I see a $1,500 phone in your hand, that drives me through the walls. I'm like, what's going on here?
What do you think makes you so upset about that?
I think the big thing.
Here's what I'm going to say right now, and I'm sorry for interrupting you, but put the frickin' drink away. He's a loud drinker and a loud burper, and I have to edit this stuff. So knock it off. Okay.
So what makes, I guess it's the comparison. It's the words, you know. It's just like when I say I'm poor and then like someone else says they're poor and they go, "Oh, yeah, we're in the same boat." It's like when
you don't like everybody being lumped in because there's so many different
yeah.
levels. It's like there being so many different levels of autism. Like people are like, your kid ain't autistic because like my kid is this much autistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can understand that.
Because I have a learning disability and it affects my life like a lot
on a daily basis.
On a daily basis. And so because of that, you know, when I hear someone say like, "Oh, me too," and I go, "Oh, really? Like, can you not read and spell? Can you not become like do a whole vast of like jobs because you have the inability to actually do something?" And they go, "No, just sometimes I get nervous." And I'm like, dude, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like I understand that anxiety is real and it's crippling, but it's like if sometimes when you're in anxious positions you get anxious, guess what? That's just normal.
Yeah.
And you're like classifying yourself as the same as somebody who like, you know, has a severe disability who it literally affects their life on a daily basis. And I mean, autism is a perfect example of it because it is a spectrum.
Yeah. You can have people who like
are antisocial and be diagnosed with autism.
Yeah, and like you could like never know any different versus people who are like nonverbal, like severely autistic. But it's all autistic.
Yeah, and I know they say, well, it's on a spectrum, but like there used to be like a Asperger's, right? It used to be something that they don't consider
they don't use that anymore. Yeah,
but it's like that was a perfect example of like of people who were able to communicate. You know, they just were really challenged in a lot of social ways.
Yeah,
because the completely nonverbal form of autism that, you know, kids have a hard time communicating. I mean, like just since it's like on the way far end of that, it's so extreme to try to like lump them all in together. It really makes me frustrated.
Yeah.
Because we know people who have autism, and it's like they would kill to have a kid who had autism the way that some of these people have autism.
Yeah.
You know, oh yeah, I get nervous. I've been diagnosed.
At the same time, like the struggle is real on both ends, right? Like whether your child or yourself is severely or just, I guess, slightly would be the other word to use. Autistic, the struggle is real.
Yeah, I mean, the hardest thing that's ever happened to you is the hardest thing that's ever happened to you. So,
yeah.
if you're walking around, you miss a toe, you're like, dude, balancing is tough. You get your legs blown off, you're like, yeah, try walking. Like, I can't do that either. Like, yeah. And I do understand, like, you can only look at it from your perspective, but it's when you try to relate with your issue, when it's not nearly as severe as somebody else's issue.
Yes. I agree. And I think that when you're in the thick of something,
yeah,
like maybe you're just, getting the diagnosis, or maybe, you're just at a trying time in parenting somebody with autism, like you can't see outside of that, and it just feels like the biggest, hardest thing, and you can't appreciate that it could be worse, or it could be better. Like this
Yeah.
is just where it is. And and this example is even like a lesser example, but like it makes me think about when a skinny person talks to me about losing weight. I want to be like, shut the F up.
Why do you want to tell them that?
Because you have not struggled with an eating disorder, with being addicted to food, with the food noise. You just gained a little weight after Easter, and it probably isn't actually weight. You just need to take a shit, okay? Like, seriously, shut up. There are people in my life that are skinny people. They're fit people, whatever you want to call them. And when they want to talk to me about like what I need to do to get my life right, I want to punch them in the face.
But here's the crazy thing about that, though, to me, is that no shit. Whatever you have to say about getting thin, no fucking shit. There's not a person around that doesn't know what they need to do to get in shape. Okay? I'm always saying it's very simple to lose weight, but it's extremely difficult.
Yeah.
It's extremely
simple.
difficult
you
because
eat right and you stay active and you will lose weight.
Yeah,
That
no
is
shit.
it.
Every influence out there who goes, oh, you need, do you follow these steps? Like, dude, anybody knows what it takes to lose weight. You eat a high protein diet, low carb, or you know, calories in, calories out, and move more, eat healthier, eat more vegetables, eat more natural foods. Like, everybody knows, it should know that. I mean, of course not everybody does know that, but I'm just saying, like, for a normal, like, rational person, when you said, hey, you're 300 pounds, if you wanted to lose weight, what should you do? A normal person would say, well, I probably should eat less and work out more. And so it's very simple.
It's a super
but it's
simple.
so difficult.
It's the actual
So hard.
execution is so hard, and
It's the commitment, not the commitment. It's the what's it called when you do it every day? It's the
discipline.
The discipline of it, right? Motivation doesn't mean shit. Discipline is everything.
It doesn't.
Right?
And like another piece that was so different for me coming into your family. Well, actually not. I was gonna say that I'm like the only big person. I was, when we were growing up, the only big person in your family. Like your mom was, but when we started dating, you were not.
Okay.
So your mom was thin. Kiana was a child.
My sisters
were
thin.
2. Your sister was thin. Everybody that was like in your circle, they were all thin and all good looking. And I was gonna say that was a difference, but like my family was all thin too. I was the only fat one in my family.
But you considered yourself fat the same way I considered myself fat. Like, you look at like what you were.
Oh, if I could just go back to.
And that's the thing. This is the thing about perspective too. Like you're saying, right? We were saying about like autism or whatever it is. It's the when it's you there, it's difficult. But when you don't look and see how bad it could be or how good it could be, right? You're just like, oh, it could be better, but it's like you could be a lot bigger. So when you were in high school, you were like 110 pounds. Like you were
115, yeah.
You were thin.
But then there were periods in high school. I have seen pictures. There were periods in high school when I was heavier.
Heavier is what? 120?
Like 140.
Okay, not when you were dating.
No, not when we were dating.
My point being is like you looked at yourself as a fat person when you were in school.
Yes.
Yet when you look at yourself like
from my perspective
as
now,
a kid, you look at
then,
you're like that chick was. And if you look at pictures of you back then, you're like, I was thin.
I was, but I did not feel that way, and
that's probably
you can't take advantage of it. I didn't take advantage of it. I was always wearing sweaters and loose.
I know. I was trying to get you to take your clothes off. I mean, it worked, but
I was gonna say like I can't. He tried and he succeeded, and that's why
but
we
I'm
were
just
kid at 19.
But so I mean,
I didn't take advantage of it, and it feels like wasted opportunity, and it feels like.
But I'm sure that the girl that's like 300 pounds, 350 pounds, looks at you and goes, you are the weight that somebody wants to be. I mean, that's the one thing.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing we don't realize as well is like. We feel like it's like the bridge is too far to pass, It's like it's so gone, but it's like you're actually probably what somebody wants to be.
You're at somebody's finish line.
Yeah. So you can get better. incrementally, you can get better. And that's how, it needs to be like a daily approach. But yeah, so that I agree. Like, so going back to being like poor, like when I hear people say I'm poor and they have a flat screen TV, I go, what?
Poor nowadays is different though, Matt. Poor nowadays really is different. Like, poor back when you were poor, like, was the food stamps and the free food places and getting stuff from your churches and, maybe one gift at Christmas and actual, like, poor, like not having a jacket around the cold season. Poor nowadays, they have iPhones and flat screen TVs, and maybe it is that the structure to assist poor people is better.
Yeah.
But they have all the clothes that they need, and they're wearing nicer clothes than some middle class families because the middle class families have to purchase it themselves.
Yeah.
And it's different now. You lived in a period. You lived poor in a period where poor was rough.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying poor is not rough now, because it definitely is, because we have struggled financially throughout times in our lives. But it's not the same kind of rough as you experienced. It's not powdered milk rough anymore.
Yeah, if anybody thinks that,
at least around here.
Yeah, powdered milk, like that was one of the things where it's like, we got a big old bag of powdered milk, and we were told, we didn't buy milk, we got it for free. And that's what it was. You mix it with a gallon of water, and it tastes like,
oh God,
it tastes so nasty.
I remember you making
Macaroni and
it
cheese?
No, you were making powdered milk one day in like this container. You like put it in, you put the water in, and you were shaking it. And I remember just being like, I'm not drinking that. Because I'm also a picky eater.
Yeah.
Like a severely picky eater. And that was not going in my mouth.
That's one thing that was not going in her mouth. And it tasted nasty though too. It's not like it tasted
Did it
good.
taste like
it would,
milk?
no, it tastes horrible.
So it's more just like the protein.
Yeah, it must be like calcium and stuff like that. Because they use it a lot in baking. Like people use it a lot.
What is the intention for powdered milk?
Well, I know like it moisturizes cakes and stuff. So like when you layer cakes.
Interesting.
Yeah, so when if you layer cakes, people will make powdered milk and they will
like squeeze it on after it's baked?
No, yeah, after it's baked, when you stack them, when you layer them, they'll put the first piece down, it's like an inch thick, 2 inches thick, and they just put a ladle of like of powdered milk, like mixed, right?
Yeah,
so it's in liquid form on top. They put the icing down.
I was thinking that you were saying that they added it into while baking.
And people do that too. Because it helps retain moisture.
Interesting.
But yeah. So I mean, if you go and buy it.
So when the free food people were handing out the powdered milk, did they intend for the kids to drink this milk?
Yeah, it was like we got a bag. We got like a dog food size bag of it. We got a huge bag of it, and it was like, oh, you don't have to worry about buying milk anymore. We got powdered milk. It was like the thing that came out like in the 80s. It was like super popular. Not super popular.
In the 80s, they got the bag in the 80s, and I witnessed them mixing it still.
No, I mean
in the early 2000s, it was still there.
We would get it, like that's what we would get. I mean,
that's crazy. That's
we wouldn't buy milk. We would have powdered milk.
It is perspective, right? Because there are people out there in the world who would kill for some powdered milk.
No, there's not. No, it's not. Because guess what? Like someone would be like, "Well, I had water." Yeah, I would have. We would just put water in our cereal instead of powdered milk. That's how nasty it was. It would ruin everything. So it's like you would go to pour powdered milk. You put the jug of milk onto, like what we ended up using it for, like years after, was like if we made macaroni and cheese instead of adding milk, we would add powdered milk. If instead of making mashed potatoes, instead of adding milk, we would use powdered milk. Like it was a supplement for other things like that. But there's no way, like we would eat our, they weren't even Cheerios. They were like the cheap free bags of, the big bag. I forget what they're called.
Hi-Hos?
Hi-Hos or something like that. And absorb all weird. We just put milk in it or water in it, and we just eat them with water.
I'm so sorry to little Matt, because that sucks. I would have gone hungry. Ain't no way.
But here's the thing: you say you would have gone hungry, but like once you're hungry for a week, everything starts sounding super good.
Yeah, I would have died.
I mean, everything starts sounding like, oh, carrots sounding great. Everything you could think of. And that's why when I hear people say like, oh, my kid won't eat that, I'm like, that's all there is. They will. You know, I mean, I heard stories about like people who were captured in like Vietnam. They didn't eat for like 3 months, and they would eat a rat. Why? Because they were starving to death. So if you're starving,
I've never been starving.
No,
I can.
That's a good thing.
Say that with confidence. That's the word I was looking for, because I won't even eat vegetables. Like I've never even been hungry enough to eat vegetables.
Yeah, you know, like broccoli is looking good.
Never in my life.
You're like, potatoes.
Potatoes, French fries,
corn.
Potato anyway, corn.
Canned peas.
Meat. Canned peas are the bomb.
They are so nasty.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
gosh. The only
gosh.
thing that his family is like, I can't believe
Yeah. That's
They're over there drinking their powdered milk and water on cereal. And my canned peas are disgusting.
We would just get frozen peas.
Yeah,
but we got canned peas once for free, and we had them, and it was like goat poop. It was just so nasty.
I was thinking about this the other day. I think that frozen peas are too close to actual vegetables, whereas canned peas.
But you like frozen corn.
Mm-hmm.
You like corn on the cob, but
like
corn's good.
All forms of corn except for cornbread. I don't like cornbread.
Oh, I love cornbread.
But the thing is, I'm not going to eat canned peas by themselves.
Yeah.
Canned peas is something that I would have eaten mixed in with mashed potatoes and gravy.
Okay.
Oh, I'm really hungry now.
You know it's funny when we had canned peas, we would have it like with macaroni and cheese. You know what we would do, because we had to eat it. We were like if my mom put it on your plate, you were going to eat it, or some really bad things were going to happen to you. We would take the peas and we would stick them inside of our macaroni from macaroni and cheese,
my
so you
dad
couldn't taste it.
would have freaked out that we were playing with our food. Okay.
Oh, I mean, we were struggling, you know. So we'd stick them inside the macaroni and cheese. So then, when you ate the macaroni and cheese, you didn't really taste the peas anymore. That's what we would do, and it sucked, but it was there.
And you were hungry.
And we were hungry.
Like I said, I've never been hungry enough to eat a vegetable, so that's crazy. I never thought of that.
Yeah, I mean, we get a lot of our food though from the school. Like our school would supply us.
Oh, like the breakfast and the lunch.
Yeah, we would get breakfast and lunch and snack and that would be we'd eat. I mean, I would eat that. I would eat everybody else's too. You know, if someone's like, I don't want it, I'm like, I'll take it. I think that's why I have a hard time like understanding why people have a real food, like your parents, like your brother. If someone puts his finger like on a plate, he loses his shit. You know, he's like, what the fuck? Where I'm just like, you could drop it on the ground, I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah. Well, we didn't struggle in that way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have had to grow in that area because I don't like people touching my food either. Yeah. But like you will go in and like get the pickles for your hamburger with your hands. Yeah. And I have to decide at that point, do I want a pickleless hamburger? Yeah. Or am I going to block that part out of my brain?
And that's tough because like it's just so innate in me to be like, my hands are clean, I wash them. But it's like, it doesn't matter.
Also, okay, so you go and wash them. And again, I'm a picky eater.
Oh,
so
I make mayonnaise.
He puts mayonnaise and mustard on his bun. And then he goes and gets the pickles. And now those pickles are dead to me. There is a container of pickles currently in our fridge that are dead to me because this mother father did exactly what I just said and used his hands. And when he was done, I looked at his hands and there was mustard on his hands. And it's done. I had a pickleless hamburger that night.
And that's something I even do unconsciously, because I'm just like moving through and
So all you people that have come over to our house and eat, sorry.
my family, which they don't care.
I promise I buy new condiments every time.
They're just like, what are you talking about? Like, what's the big deal? It's like, oh, it's a big deal to some people, you know?
It is a very big deal to some people.
Yeah. So then you gotta be respectful.
Yeah. So I promise people who come and eat at our house, we clean up and I get new things, like new pickles.
Yeah.
You're not eating nastiness.
But also things have gotten a lot different too. Like, we're also like, we go back to talking about like making food and stuff. Put a lot of effort into trying to make good food.
Yeah, especially when we're entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, rolling out homemade noodles or pasta. Like when I make ramen, homemade ramen, it's like such a labor-intensive like task. Oh, there's our son, Dylan. He's making all the noise. But it's such a labor-intensive thing. Like it takes like all day to make ramen.
It really does.
There's so many different components to it, from the noodles to the broth to the tara to the oil to the eggs. I mean, it's just like, but it's also
But that's why you only do it, what?
a couple times a year.
Yeah, a couple times a year.
But at the same time, it's like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good ramen, I would say.
I think that out of all the ramen I've ever had, your noodles are 100% my favorite.
Yeah.
And your broth 99% of the time kicks. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
There have been a couple of times when maybe you put too much of the stuff that you make with the fish.
The tara?
Yeah, a little bit too much of that, and I can taste the fish in it.
Okay.
And I get a little bit turned off, but
The umami?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Here's the thing, though, too. Like, it was... When Kim didn't know what was in it, it felt a little different as well. When you found out everything that goes into making ramen, you kind of like got a little like, oh.
No, I don't feel that way.
No?
No.
Our daughter definitely feels that way.
Our daughter definitely feels that way, but like I think we had it so many times by the time that I realized that you put like fish scales and freaking weird
Mushrooms.
dried out mushrooms and stuff
Seaweed,
like that.
kelp.
And yeah, by the time I found that out, I had already been eating it for a while.
Yeah. So you already kind of fell in love with it.
Yeah, but there have been a couple of times where it's been
Noticeable
in the...
Yeah.
But like not every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of interesting, you know. But
Bunch.
anyways, it isn't. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy how we like come together like two completely different worlds. It feels like a movie.
Yeah, like you can make a movie about her life. I mean,
It would be kind of boring, but
it'd be kind of boring, but it'd be interesting. Like, you'd be like, oh, how these two people that, you know, on paper would be really difficult to be together are together.
it is really difficult to be together.
Yeah, tell me about that.
No, I don't mean it in a mean way.
No, I know.
I don't mean it in a serious way. I mean like we argue all the time because we're two different worlds.
Because because we're actually in a relationship.
And we have a lot of passion in our relationship, whether that's like a happy, good passion or an angry, bad passion.
Yeah.
We have like those two sides of the coin, and we don't live a lot in the middle.
What would be your advice to a younger you?
A younger me, run.
To-
No, I'm just kidding. Run!
Gotcha, bitch.
He's not that cute.
I can see the comments now. You're 100% right.
What do you mean?
He's not that cute.
Oh no. So
Anyways, it's just jokes. What would be your advice to you as a younger person?
Oh gosh, calm down.
Calm down. Like, it's not that serious.
It's not that serious. That would be probably what I would tell younger me. It's
Yeah.
not that serious. Because when you're going through things, especially when there's like a lot of firsts happening, it feels like when you're in high school, it feels like the world.
Yeah.
That feels like everything.
It is the world.
And
Like to
something
you.
that's gonna happen that's like the end of the world, right? Like I remember once it was raining and I was walking out. So we went to high school together, but I was walking out of the girls' bathroom. And I slipped in the mud and I fell. That was definitely going to be the end of my life. I was going to die.
Yeah.
I remember running into the bathroom and hiding in the bathroom until passing period was over, and then going to the health office and telling them I was sick. I have to go home now. I have to go home.
Pants are all dirty.
I was wearing a skirt, so my ass was all dirty. It was horrible. And I remember going home and I think at the time my dad had already retired, or like my parents were already.
Yeah. They had like the little.
I think they already
store.
owned their antique store, so they were home, and I remember going and taking a shower and them being like, "You're going back to school," and me being like, "I am never going back to school."
You know what's interesting if you tell yourself like, we were kind of talking about this the other day though a little bit, but like when you look back, whatever time that you're in as a kid, or you know. I would say in your formative years, like your teens, your 20s, like those are the good times. Like those are the nostalgic times that you look back on. Like I remember when I was growing up, like the 80s or the 70s was like the cool time. But it's like when we look back now, it's like the 90s were so cool. And if I could tell myself something like when I was younger, it's like no, this is the time. These are the times that you're gonna look back on and be like, this is so cool.
I think that I can look back at the era and be like, that was a cool era.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I would not want to go back to high school. High school sucked.
Oh, dude, high school is so awesome.
I know you loved high school.
I loved high school.
I hated high school. I think that after high school, my life really began. Like when I started my family.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
yeah.
You became an adult.
Yeah, but
I think after high school was like really difficult. Like I thought I had responsibility before. Right after high school, I feel like I had so much more responsibility because I had kids like
you did.
Yeah, like a week out of high school. Like
no. We found out I was pregnant like a week out of you
after I graduated. Like she had already been out of school for a year.
I graduated early before him, a year earlier than him.
So I felt like there was like all this responsibility, and I don't think I felt an alleviation of that responsibility until like. You know, I'm working at the job I'm working at now. You know what I mean? Like there was a steadiness to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There wasn't like a huge flux of like, oh, ups and downs, you know? But
it's just more steady.
I would tell myself like these are like the nostalgic times, like embrace it. And that's what I try to tell like our kids. It's like, dude, you should enjoy every day because it's like this is what it is. But we should be enjoying this today.
You tell your kids that. You tell them, enjoy high school, do all the things. This is the best time of your life because that's your experience.
Well, this is the best time of my life now.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the best time. You really enjoyed high school. So you want them to experience it because it was a great thing for you.
And because I made it great. Like I consciously chose to like have fun and engage and play sports and to go to parties.
That's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about I then tell our kids, don't worry, it's going to be over soon. Like, this isn't everything. It's over. It'll be over soon. You won't remember these people, especially when I'm talking with my girls. And maybe it's a boys and girls thing because when I'm talking with my girls and like, especially our youngest there's always some sort of friend group drama. And it does. I remember feeling like that is the end of the world. That is the biggest thing that's ever happened. And I want her to know, like, it's almost over. And I very rarely think about the time that I fell walking out of the bathroom and got all muddy, or the time that I almost fought my best friend and called her a slut. And
well, I think like both of those things are 100% true. I think that don't take this so seriously because it doesn't matter, and enjoy it as much as possible. Yeah, I think enjoy it as much as possible. And if you step on people's toes and you hurt people, it doesn't matter because these people don't matter.
Yeah.
For the most part, you're never going to see these people again. Outside of high school, when you graduate, you go to college or don't go to college, get a job. Like, you have a whole life ahead of you. And these 4 years aren't going to mean anything, like, in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
But the things you will remember about it is all the fun that you're going to have.
It's interesting coming from us to say that, like, the 4 years of high school aren't going to mean anything, but literally we met each other in high school.
Yeah.
It didn't mean a lot. But, like, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think about...
Like, you could burn all your bridges in high school with everybody you ever met just to party and have fun. And guess what? It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
It wouldn't mean a thing because you'd start like working, for the city, and you'd be there for 20 years and look back and be like, no, I don't even talk to these people anymore. Like, who cares? It's like, I just did that to have fun, and I did have fun. And, that's not even that big of a deal. It's something that comes back to like, and that's when we tell our girls, like, all this drama, don't even worry about it, because you're not even going to know these people.
Yeah. It's all going to be over.
Yeah. And these people end up going off to colleges in different places and developing friendships with different people. And so, I mean, like, I would say don't take your life so seriously, like, it's not so, like, this isn't the end all be all, and try to have as much fun as possible.
Yeah.
But I would thought to myself today too.
Yeah. It's kind of weird that every season of your life that you're in feels like the most important season.
Yeah.
Because I feel that. But cool.
Well, thanks. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us on our trip down memory lane.
See you guys next time. Love ya.
Bye.